Just waiting for the stream to start. Yeah. So, you guys might be wondering why I keep live streaming things that are just informational. I just find that this is the easiest way to record videos now because it goes directly to it, and I do everything all in one go anyway, and so, yeah, that's why I'm live streaming this stuff. Anyway, I just wanted to talk really briefly about Ormus. I know that, I've made a couple of videos about it recently, but it's been a huge part of my personal, not just awakening process, but my health process as well, and actually ingesting things regularly that I think are not just magical or alchemical in nature, but help the body in a real and powerful way. What I mean, like, my style is the opposite of taking a bunch of light Western herbs like chamomile and I don't even know. I'm into the like hardcore Chinese herbs and stuff like that, you know? And so if it's not like, wow, I can feel this stuff, like I don't even want to deal with it, you know? I don't, and it's not to say that taking things that have a very light effect on your body over time, that's actually how I recommend that you take Ormus. That's not to say that doing that is not a good thing. It's just, and I don't mean like, you know, have a punch of this stuff like, you know, caffeine kicking you in the gut either. I just mean I need to know that it's effective, you know? So my favorite herb is Heshawu. And ginseng is amazing too. That kind of thing. Like, they do have a cumulative effect and you have to take them over time for them to work, but to me, like, the energetic qualities of them are so potent and so real that I know that I'm getting some really good medicine. It's the same thing with Ormus. This is the product that I'm doing right now. This is one of the Mayan Sun Ormus. The other is Dead Sea Ormus. And I just wanted to show you and shake it around to show you that it's a very clean product. I'm going to be super filtering it because I have found some little specks of sand and things, and I don't want people to complain about that. It's, yeah, whatever. It's very dry in Colorado. Um, it's not a concern, you know. It's not like it's dirty or anything. It's salt though, and it's sea salt, and so you're going to get something like that. If you look at the sea salt that you use in your cooking, you'll find little specks of things in it too. But to be the most superior Ormus product possible, I'm going to try to really, really, really filter it this time. The other things that I'm doing different, never mind, I'll get there. So what is Ormus and why should you care, right? Ormus is basically a super concentration of precious minerals and not so precious minerals, regular minerals, extracted from sea salt in what's called an M state of matter or monatomic state. It's believed that minerals in this monatomic state, being as they are chemically isolated from one another, as opposed to the molecules being bound to each other in different ways, whether you have a combination of these minerals and they're in the salt, you know, in nature, that's how they usually occur. We take them and extract them through a heating process, either with a very basic substance like lye or potash. People are using not sodium bicarbonate, but something that is basically baking soda to raise the pH of the saltwater solution. And then as you do that, Ormus minerals precipitate out. And then we take off the water after the Ormus minerals have precipitated out. They settle down and sink, and so you end up with this like slurry. And then you take off the top water, and then you wash it, and then you let it settle again, and you take it off and you wash it again, and you take it off and you wash it again until you get rid of all the extra excess stuff. Not that it's harmful, especially the lighter things like potash and the baking soda, which I don't know the chemical name of, which is, well, I do know the chemical name of baking soda, but baking soda, but they're not using actual baking soda. It's a chemically different thing. I think they use it for like pool water and stuff like that to soften it. Some people are having success with that method. I have not tried that yet. All the Ormus that you'll find in White Sage Alchemy is made with potash as of this date of this video. Okay, so that's what it is. It's believed that these minerals in this monatomic state are absorbed more easily into the body and have a different effect on the body. Um, you may or may not know, but Ayurveda people, I don't know exactly how to say that, Ayurvedics, no. Um, People who are really into the science and art of Ayurveda, um, and yogis, gurus, and people who can afford it have been ingesting precious minerals for years. Taoists have been ingesting pills made of different types of minerals for years. These can have a very, very powerful effect on the body and consciousness, especially if you're following an Ayurvedic diet and everything is totally balanced. Then you take one of these magical elixirs with gold and diamond and pearl and all kinds of crazy stuff that they put in these things. In special states, I don't know how they do it. I would probably be wealthy if I did know how they do it. Maybe someday I'll learn. And then you take these things and you have an experience. Everything is balanced in your body, your mind balances out, and you can have, a type of more enlightened consciousness just from balancing yourself out. I want to say, I don't know what Ayurvedic people think of Ormus, but I want to say that this is like one of those elixirs or special pills that they take. The minerals in Ormus are many and varied. You'll find gold, silver, you'll find different things like potassium and magnesium and stuff that is good for you, calcium, whatever. But it's supposed to all be in this monatomic state, right? I'm not a scientist. I don't check to see that. I don't know how to do that. I just make the stuff and take it. I've been taking it for years. I really want to get back into a regimen of taking it and really show you guys the differences, or at least describe the differences in my state and my being from day to day when I do take it. And I have been taking it a lot more regularly, once a day. I'm going to probably change that a little bit because I'm about to start to do a program for myself and really try to get back into immortal shape. So yeah. So I want to say that Ormus is something like that. It's a special type of matter, M state, so that when you do take it, your body absorbs it in a different way, uses it in a different way, and different things happen to your system, as opposed to just taking a bunch of chalky magnesium or potassium or silver that you obviously cannot ingest. People remember colloidal silver very well, and I always bring that up because it's like, well, what is it? Like, why am I putting silver in my body, and what is a colloid? We are used to that stuff now, and we realize, okay, we can take this. It's not too weird. Our body needs minerals. Our body needs metals in order to keep functioning. Sometimes people recommend taking copper and zinc together because they are a conductor of electricity. And so, therefore, the theory is that these things, as your body does need them, does need copper and zinc in it, of course, that these substances will help to facilitate the free flow of dynamic and vital energy. Ormus does all of that. I've been taking it for a long time, as I said, and I find that almost immediately after you take it, you can feel either sort of like calmness come down over you, or you sort of feel that it's in your system and you're not sure where it is and what it's going to do. Almost like it gives you a load, I think is the term. Like if you were taking a substance, like a drug or something, you can sort of like feel it in your system. Like if you have a cup of really strong coffee, it's like at the back of your head. At least for me, it feels like way back there, and it gets stuck, and it's like, oh, when is this gonna stop? Ormus doesn't do that, but I always want to say that I can feel it as soon as I take it. And then it just sort of like fades into the background. It usually doesn't get much stronger than that, and it's fine. Um, and then I've said, in an energetic sense, a bunch of times before, I've noticed that it opens up the energy field in tremendous ways and makes it much, 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 much stronger, especially in the long term. I noticed that chi moves much more freely. I've been taking it for a couple days, and I've noticed that my body is feeling hot. Not in a bad way, like flashes or anything, or flushes. It's just that I can feel my body heat moving much more powerfully. And I haven't been doing anything different other than taking Ormus right now. Um, there's a lot of stuff on the internet about what Ormus is and what it does, and I'm here to say if you take a bunch of this, you will not just suddenly start having third eye visions. You will not transcend. This is not what this is about. You know, there's no such thing as a spiritual drug. Okay, I mean, there's a lot of things that you can take to get you to spirit or whatever. This is not a drug. It's not something to take to feel a certain way right away. It's something that you take over time for your general health and well-being. Now, how do you gauge the effects? It is one of those things that has a stronger effect than just, say, taking a multivitamin on a regular basis, or an herb that is going to give you lots of energy over a long period of time. People will tell me that they'll get bursts of energy just suddenly, just whoo, whoo, all this energy, it's like, and it's not like caffeine energy, like, or whatever. It's just, it feels dynamic and real and fresh and alive, and people love this energetic feeling. It doesn't always do that though, and so that's what, everyone's different. Your system is different, and so I think there's still a lot of research that needs to be done by the people who are the experts in dietics, in balancing your doshas in an Ayurvedic sense, or just making sure that you're eating everything that is good for you and not putting a bunch of stuff in your body that's not good for you. And you start to have like a more spiritual existence in general when you do that. And then to add something like this into it, you'll feel it much more strongly right away, as opposed to eating hamburgers and french fries every single day and you've got all this junk to move through you. The other thing that it does is it has a physical flush. If there's a bunch of junk in your system, and just so you know, this is watered down. This is for me. um, a regular product is thicker than that. But sometimes you can't even tell because it's so milky white, like it's just in there. Yeah. So I don't know what else I can say. Again, it's not that thing that's going to make you transcend, and I really dislike when people are like, "Oh my gosh, it's the best thing ever. I need to have it all the time." And I'm like, okay, well, yeah, you should have it in your system all the time. You should be taking it as a supplement or whatever. But please stop thinking that it's the thing. It's really great, and that's the other thing I wanted to talk about. It will create a flush in your system, and so you will get flashes, perhaps, if you have a lot of toxins to release. You'll start to get that feeling, and you might start to feel a little ooh if you're not used to taking it. Just a little like ill, you know? And that is if you have a bunch of stuff to move through your system. Um, I overdid it several months ago, and I took way too much at once, and I literally could feel stuff coming out of my bones. It penetrates that deeply into your system. It goes all the way to the marrow, for lack of a better, term or whatever. Um, and it just helps. It helps everything. Um, yeah, already making this video too long. I just wanted to highlight some of the benefits of Ormus. I really feel like there's more specifics I could get into. It's just, um, when I first started taking it, I would feel different layers of my energy body start to open up, and this was before I ever actually started feeling my energy body, but it was just so there suddenly, and it was moving, and it was expanding, that I could feel it. I could almost felt like I could see it because it was just right there in front of me. And it was a really amazing experience, and I started to have contact experiences much more often, even though I was doing a lot of other stuff, so I can't just attribute it to the Ormus. I started to have contact experiences with different types of entities, different types of consciousness that would just come into my field suddenly. And I think that that's important. People ask, how do I start channeling or whatever? I think it really has to do more with getting the body energetically prepared to handle other consciousnesses coming into your field, whichever field it is, whichever body it is, whatever you're talking about. we really have a hard time connecting to those types of energies. I find that Ormus really ramps up the healer's ability. It really ramps up the ability of your ability to sense subtle energy. And again, this is with a good diet. I do not recommend, if you have a bad diet, and if you do, you know you do, I don't have to tell you what that is, that you start taking Ormus. I recommend that you do at least probably a week of just eating fresh stuff, vegetables, oatmeals, and cereals, as in good cereals like wheats and rice and stuff like that, to cleanse your system first. I don't know what you're eating, obviously, but everyone has something. um, and I'm not really a big believer in toxins in the system. Really, the toxins to me are the food itself. And so food takes a long time to integrate itself into your body. It takes a couple days after you eat a meal for all that stuff to like really completely integrate itself into your system all the way to the skin, you know. I At least that's what I believe. And it takes a long time to cleanse your body of that stuff if you're eating junk, you know. I will readily admit my diet has not been the best the last year. Okay, I mean to remedy that this time, and I mean to really monk out, and I'm going to do a big experiment. I'll talk about that a little bit. I'm going to do the Saint Germain oatmeal cleanse, which is oatmeal, pH balanced water, raw oatmeal, I know, right? Raw honey and an egg yolk all mushed up together, and you feel so good after you eat it. It's really bizarre, you know, and it just seems to clear everything out. It has so much fiber that you can move it through your system very easily, and you have this like just stable, dynamic energy like the whole day. You can eat as much of it as you want. I mean, come on, it's just oatmeal and water and honey. You know, it's like, come on. Um, so I'm gonna do a lot of that with other simple cereals, and I'm gonna start taking a ton of Ormus and see what happens. Okay, maybe I'll have a different opinion after I do that experiment so that you guys can see how energetic changes occur when taking Ormus in a regular fashion or whatever. I still think it's one of the best tools out there. Apropos, or yeah, pertaining to that little experiment that I just talked about that I am going to do soon, I think that Ormus is just one of those tools that I will always keep in my canon of spiritual breakers, things that break you through to a certain level more than other stuff, like the powerful herbs, like heshawu, like ginseng, that kind of stuff. Because I'm hard to impress when it comes to this kind of stuff, you know. And so this is something that's always going to be here because every time I've taken it, I go, whoa, I forgot that this stuff is so awesome. It just moves through your system. It really seems to have an effect on the fluidic systems of the body, which I love because I'm a phlegmatic type. You know, I've got all this mucus and stuff in me all the time, and I really need to, you know, cleanse my body of that and eat right. And I find that Ormus just fits perfectly into all of that. I'll try to get concentrated and make a video that's not 20 minutes long next time, so thank you for watching.